Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Laura, I'm a fashion designer and natural dyer. In this channel I show you how to dye fabric using different botanical colors. If you want to know more about the world of natural dyes, please subscribe to my channel. Clicking the button down below, but also clicking on the bell. This way you will get notification every time I upload a new video. In this way, you will not going to lose any content that I'm going to put on my channel. So this video is going to be a little different of the video that I normally put in my channel. And it's because I wanted to discuss something that has been on my mind since I started doing natural dyes. And I think it's also a topic very relevant today. This week is the Fashion Revolution week. If you don't know what the Fashion Revolution is, we're going to talk about that a little later on the video. And the question is, can natural dyes replace synthetic dyes today in order to have a fashion industry that is more sustainable? In this video, I'm going to give you the opinion that I have of the question, can natural dyes replace synthetic dyes in order to get a more sustainable industry? But before we continue, I'm going to explain the difference between synthetic and natural dye. Natural dye, as its name says, are colors that are developed from nature. So as we see in this channel, we extract it from leaves, berries, and roots of the trees or plants. On the other side, synthetic dyes are colors that are chemical manufactured. So they are made on the industry and laboratories. So they are all man-made. But here is something, not because we are saying about natural dye and they came from nature, it means that they have a less impact on the environment. So I decided to analyze the process of both of them. The first we're going to discuss is the extraction and the impact the extraction has. Then the bath, the actual mix of the color and the impact that it has. And then the disposal of all the waste. So when it comes to the extraction, it seems that synthetic dyes kind of win because it's easy to produce, it's very cheap, and kind of the impact is less if we want to consider that to get the same amount of dyes from synthetic, we will need a vast amount of land to produce the same amount of natural dye. Because, for example, if we take indigo, we will have to plant a lot of indigo plants to get just a small quantity of color. If we take land to make color, we are taking land from other use, for example, to plant crops or to forests, the wild animals. So if we start to, remove part of the Amazon just to make indigo plant, we are not doing anything, because this is not an environmental industry and we are creating much damage the damage that we can create making synthetic dyes on a laboratory. Then we have the part of the bath. In order to create the color, both of them, synthetic and natural, has to be dissolved in water. So the amount of water that you will use, it will be kind of the same for synthetic and for dyeing. In this part, we also have to take into consideration the people that are working. So which one of them is more harmful for the people? So we know that synthetic dye are really harmful for the people who work in the industry because there are a lot of illness that we know are linked to the use of these synthetic dyes. In the natural dyes, I always say here that work in a ventilated space, use face masks and gloves, because even while talking about something natural, you still can have a skin reaction of an allergy or something like that. It's like, I like to say that example with peanut butter. Peanut butter is really innocuous for everyone, but for some people it can be really dangerous. So it's the same with natural dyes. But saying so, we have to say that synthetic dyes has the really big impact for the people that work in the industry. And then we have disposal of any waste. When you're dyeing, you normally have a bath, and then you use it later, and it's called an exhausted bath, and then you continue to use it until you see that the water has no color on it. But not because you see that the water is clear again, it doesn't mean that it has chemicals on that. So right now what is happening in the industry is that all of these companies that work with synthetic dye, they just dispose this water to the rivers, not thinking about the amount of harmful chemicals that are inside. And the same will happen with natural dyes. The difference here is when we are using natural dyes, we're using, yes, a mordant solution that is normally salt and alum. And this salt of alum, if treated, can be used as fertilizer to different plants. Very different for the synthetical dyes that if you just throw it away, some of them can really be harmful for the environment. So all the fish is going to die, and then the plants and so on. So taking into consideration all of these things, now it seems that the answer is not as simple. Like, yeah, if we switch to natural dyes, so then now we have solved the problem of the impact of fashion. The truth is that the system as it is right now is just not sustainable, so it doesn't matter if we change to natural dye, because if we are going to continue producing the amount of fabric and the amount of clothes that we produce right now, it really doesn't matter if we are using natural dyes. What we have to think is to slow down the production, and if we slow down the production, then we can start talking about using more natural dyes instead of synthetical dyes. Yes, but what we can do to reduce this massive production of clothes? We can pressure the big companies to change their way of production and also make them accountable for the damage that they are causing. This is where the fashion revolution movement came. This video is not a sponsor, I'm just talking about this because it's something that I believe in. The fashion revolution is a global movement that promotes transparency and accountability to all the supply chain. There are different ways that you can take action, and I'm going to leave the link on the description down below if you are interested to know more. So I've been talking a lot of things in this video, but I think the conclusion is really simple. Replacing synthetical dyes with natural dyes in order to have a more sustainable industry is not solving any problem. As I said before, what we have to do is slow down the production, and in order to do that, we as citizens have to pressure our government and the companies to do that. But I don't want to discourage you, because I also think that learning about natural dyes is really important. I love to take the plants and be connected with nature and discover all the colors that nature has to offer. It's really important to continue passing and learning this technique that we have and that it has been in the history of human for a long time. So that was all for today's video. I know it was a very different video for the video that I normally upload here in this channel. But don't worry, because the next week we're going to have a lighter video. I'm going to show you the 5 books for natural dye that I love the most. If you're interested in this new video, remember to subscribe to my channel, clicking on the bell, so you will get a notification once I upload it. So as always, thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next video. Bye!